This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is a news edited by Danish Komadawala and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. Dorin Dorate Kapruka National Program to plant 4 million coconut saplings will commence today. Investment opportunities with France and Poland will be widened. The President made an observation visit to the proposed Horana Millnever site where Borrella prison building will be restructured and housed. The Prime Minister says that the priority of the government is to protect the people by giving COVID vaccine to everyone. 1,537 coronavirus cases have been detected in Sri Lanka yesterday. 21-hour water cut will be experienced in several areas in Colombo from this morning. News overseas, Taliban capture key Afghanistan border crossings. And those are the headlines. 1,537 coronavirus cases have been detected in Sri Lanka yesterday. Accordingly, number of confirmed infections in Sri Lanka has increased to 271,483. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health says 27,057 persons are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at several facilities across the island. 1,451 persons who have recovered from COVID-19 were discharged from hospitals yesterday, raising the number of recoveries in the country to 241,035. 820 suspected COVID-19 cases are also under medical care at present. Sri Lanka on Friday reported that 43 deaths due to COVID-19 occurred on Thursday. The Director General of Health Services Friday confirmed that 43 deaths occurred on Thursday, the July 8th. Among the Thursday's deaths are 30 males and 13 females. The majority of the deaths, numbering 29, is of the people in 60 years and above age group. Accordingly, the Government Information Department says the total deaths due to COVID-19 since the pandemic began last March has now risen to 3,434, including the deaths confirmed Thursday. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa made an observation visit to the proposed Horana Millnever site where Borrella prison building will be restructured and housed. The present prison building at Borrella prison premises is at a dilapidated condition. The building will be shifted to the new place due to this condition and other logistic reasons. The proposed Millnever site has an extension of 200 acres. Public Security Minister Rear Admiral Dr. Sarath Veerasekara in Parliament yesterday says the government will not hesitate to arrest anyone who flouts the health regulations and engages in protests during the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Responding to allegations made against the arrests of several trade union leaders who had engaged in protests on Thursday and sent for quarantine, Veerasekara noted that irrespective of their status, anyone who breaks the law would be arrested. These regulations have been made not by politicians but by the Health Services Director General. He has issued a clear order to the IGP to stop all protests and gatherings due to the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Moreover, he has the authority to issue such orders under the quarantine ordinance. Therefore, what the police did was to carry out the task entrusted to them. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank, celebrating 60 years of empowering the nation.
Dorin Dorate Kapruka National Program to plant 4 million coconut saplings will commence today under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at Velikatiya Vatta Chilau. 4 million coconut saplings are scheduled to be planted island-wide as a solution to the increasing demand of coconuts. Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Poland, Dhammika Kumari Semasinghe, presented the letters of credentials to the President of the Republic of Poland, Andrzej Duda, at the Belvedere Palace in Warsaw recently. The formal presentation ceremony was followed by a meeting between the ambassador and the President of Poland. President Duda, welcoming Ambassador Seymour appreciated the long-standing ties with Sri Lanka and stated that Poland was keen to proactively expand the scope of bilateral cooperation for mutually beneficial and tangible outcomes. He said that the direct air connectivity established since 2019 between Warsaw and Colombo by LOT Polish Airlines was bound to catalyze and increase two-way trade and tourism despite the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. President Duda was hopeful of Sri Lanka providing greater opportunities for Polish investors and businesses to diversify the existing export-import product lines. The ambassador of Sri Lanka to French Republic, Professor Shanika Hirambregama, was engaged in discussion with a member of the parliament and the president of France Sri Lanka Friendship Group of the French National Assembly, Chantal Jordan, in France recently. The discussion focused on key areas to be developed for the strengthening of the relationship between France and Sri Lanka, namely attracting French foreign direct investments, tourists, and increasing Sri Lankan exports to the French market. Ambassador Hirambregama further explained about the investment opportunities available for French businesses in the Port City project in Colombo and importing of high-quality Sri Lankan apparels to the European Union, as it has become one of the most important markets for Sri Lanka. And that's local news.
Towards a new dimension in innovation, People's Bank, celebrating 60 years of empowering the nation.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the priority of the government is to protect the people by giving COVID vaccine to everyone. He said that security forces are providing an immense service to conduct vaccination programs methodically and speedily, overcoming all challenges. Keeping a note on the Facebook, the Prime Minister has expressed his gratitude to the health sector and security forces who are conducting vaccination programs day and night. And that came to you in Top News.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says the water supply for several areas in Colombo will be suspended for 21 hours this weekend due to essential maintenance work. Accordingly, the water cut will be effective from 9 a.m. today until 6 a.m. tomorrow. Colombo 1, Colombo 2, Colombo 3, Colombo 7, Colombo 8, Colombo 9, Colombo 10 and Colombo 11 areas are expected to be affected by the said water cut. In the meantime, water supply for Colombo 4 and 12 areas will be under low pressure during this time, the NWSDB said further. And that came to you in Watchlight. And moving up to world news, headlines first, Taliban capture key Afghanistan border crossings. Biden vows U.S. action over Russian cyber attacks. Foreign hit squad killed 80s president, police say. And those are the headlines. The Taliban have captured major border crossings with Iran and Turkmenistan in a sweeping offensive across northern Afghanistan, officials say. The militants say they seized two key border towns, Islam Kola near Iran and Togundi bordering Turkmenistan. Video footage appeared to show Taliban forces taking down the Afghan flag from the roof of a border customs office. The Taliban are rapidly retaking land across Afghanistan as a US-led mission removes the last of its troops. President Joe Biden has told President Vladimir Putin the US will take any necessary action to stop cyber attacks from Russia, the White House says. A reporter asked Mr. Biden after the hour-long phone call if Russia would face consequences, and he said yes. But Moscow denied US claims they had contacted the Russians repeatedly about the cyber attacks in the past month. A group of 28 foreign mercenaries, including retired Colombian soldiers, assassinated Haiti's President Jovenel Moise earlier this week, police say. After a gun battle in the capital Port-au-Prince, 17 were detained, some at the house, and they were using others after entering Taiwan's diplomatic compound. 3 suspects were killed by police and 8 are still being sought. Bloodied and bruised, arrested suspects were shown to the media on Thursday along with a slew of seized weapons. And that's World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
700 million rupees will be allocated for organic fertilizer production project implemented by the Land Reforms Commission under the Ministry of Lands. Organic fertilizer produced by this project, which is in operation under the guidance and instructions of Land Minister S.M. Chandrasena, will be sold to the Ministry of Agriculture, and the proceeds from the sale will be cycled back to the production of organic fertilizer. The project, proposed to be implemented island-wide, has received the cabinet approval. In the preliminary round, 35 large-scale projects have been launched in the North Central Province alone, and 1,300 entrepreneurs have joined the program. And that came to you in Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
In sports soccer, Leonardo Bonucci says Italy are not afraid to contest the Euro 2020 final on English soil when the two sides face each other on Sunday. Italy beat Spain on penalties after a captivating semi-final at a boisterous Wembley Stadium on Tuesday. Even though there'll be a mostly English crowd, it'll give us additional motivation, Bonucci said. As many as 1,000 Italian fans will be allowed inside Wembley to watch the game. And that's sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
In collaboration with the University Grants Commission, Dialog Asiata PSC recently established 5G innovation centers at the engineering faculties of leading universities to create an interest-driven learning, innovation and entrepreneurship for future leaders. And these innovation centers aim to empower students to be interdisciplinary, computational and entrepreneurial by giving students first-hand experience with 5G connectivity and many of its cutting-edge use cases.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Asian Development Bank and Government of Sri Lanka Friday signed loan agreements for $150 million under the Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility for the procurement of the vaccines and other related consumables. The loan is a part of ADB's $9 billion Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility launched in December 2020 to offer rapid and equitable vaccine-related support to ADB developing member countries.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says a prevailing showery condition in the southwestern parts of the country, particularly in western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts, is expected to continue further. Heavy falls above 150 millimeters can be expected at some places in western and Sabaragamu provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Well, to wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. Dorin Dorate Kapruka national program to plant 4 million coconut saplings will commence today. Investment opportunities with France and Poland will be widened. The President made an observation visit to the proposed Horana Mill site, where Borella prison building will be restructured and housed. The Prime Minister says that the priority of the government is to protect the people by giving COVID vaccine to everyone. 1,537 coronavirus cases have been detected in Sri Lanka yesterday. 21-hour water cut will be experienced in several areas in Colombo from this morning. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.